Hey guys, this is George with Firehouse Music, and today I want to talk to you about chord scale relationships. And this is one of those concepts that tend to get overcomplicated sometimes. And you don't have to know a whole bunch of theory in order to understand this. Not if you use the technique I'm about to show you. It makes it very, very simple. So first of all, let's talk about what we use that for, right? Why it's important to know that how chords relate to scales, and why and what types of musical situations chords and scales relate to each other. So the usefulness of this comes when you're trying to improvise, or when you're trying to solo, when you're trying to create, you're trying to compose a melody over a set of chords. Well, it's useful to know what scales are related to those chords. So that's the first part of it. The second question, chords are related to scales in two ways. You can look at the chords individually, and then we're looking at modality, and that's where the modes come in, and we talked about that before. And we can look at the chords together around a tonal center, and that's what we call tonality. And tonality is, to put it very simply, it's like if you take the chords that belong to a single key. And that's it. If you guys remember our basic definitions, a scale is a set of notes, and a key is a set of chords. Yeah, I mean, if you're somebody who has a degree in music theory, you may not like the oversimplification of the explanation, but it works. That's what it is. And sure, there are other things that come into play there, but trust me, the definition works. So how are we going to use scales and chords together? Well, the biggest problem, and what students ask me all the time, is like, well, how do I know what notes I play, what notes sound good in this song or that chord progression? And, or, the reverse, when I tell them, okay, well, here's the scale, just play, they tell me that I don't know what to play. But this is how you figure out what to play. If you take a chord, any chord, and let's just, for the sake of the example, let's take the key of C, because everybody knows C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then it goes on C, D, F, G, A, B, B, C. We have that 2-octave C major scale. Okay, and in the 7th position, if you're looking to play along. And any chord, first of all, every chord in that key, in a major key, in this case in the key of C major, is going to contain the notes in that scale. There are a couple of exceptions, but we're not going to talk about those. So, if I build the diatonic chords, meaning the chords in the same key, I'm going to end up with C major 7, D minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, G 7, A minor 7, and B half diminished, or B minor 7 flat 5. Same chord, two different names. So whenever you play any one of those chords, you are able to play the whole scale, and you're gonna hear. Well, before we get there, it's very easy for you to identify which notes are in the chord, which notes in the scale are in the chord if you do this. Why? Because I'm playing in the same position. So you don't have to know what note I'm talking about. If I play this note, it doesn't matter whether you know that's a B or not. All you have to know is, am I playing that note when I'm playing that specific chord? And then you consider it a chord tone or not. So then you know, okay, well, that's not gonna be a stable note. If I play this note, this B note, against that chord, it's gonna rub real hard against my root note, which is a bad thing. And then I'm gonna end up with a lot of tension. And tension is not necessarily bad all the time. So maybe you want to use that as a passing tone only and then moving on to the next note. But that's melodic concepts, and we're not going to talk about those right now. So, right? So then if you play the scale here, on top of that, you can pay attention and listen to how each note sounds against the chord. See, it's going to work over this, the root. See how that note sounds? The ninth, then the third, the natural 11th, gives us like a major 7 sus sound, then the 5th, then I have the 6th or the 13th in this case, same note. Then the 7th, if you really want to keep hearing that low note. 7th, and then I'm back to the octave, to the root note of the chord. And I can do that with every single one of these chords. I can do the same thing for the D. Play the whole scale. All with that chord. And I'm not going to do that because if I did that, then this video will be like 30 minutes long. So we're not going to do that. But then you have that. So then, and then do the same thing with the E minor. Same thing with the F major. Same thing with the G7. Same thing with the A minor 7. Same thing with the B half diminished. So when you do that, then two things will happen. You're going to very quickly understand which tones are stable, which tones you can sit on when you're playing melodies. And you may find tones that are not necessarily present in the chord that you're holding, but that you like because of what they do to the chord. So then you keep both of those. And then you may find tones that are no good to sit on, but you can move to and from them. And that's what's going to give your melodies that whole tension and release sense that you need in order to create an exciting melody. Because if all your, as I was going to talk about melodic concepts, but I think this one is important. If all you have are chord tones and things that are consonant, then your melodies are going to be really boring. You need some level of tension in order to create excitement in your melodies. And maybe that's something that we'll explore in a future video. So for now, experiment with your scales and your chords. You can do this in every position. So learn your scales and then learn your chords in those positions and play along with them and see what you find out. And if you have any questions, drop me a line and I'll be happy to help you guys out. I'll see you next time.